Hey, this is Carla.
And this is Jasmine.
And you're listening to Cracking the Coconut,
where we tackle taboo conversations in the Filipino community.
By cracking one coconut at a time. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Cracking the Coconut, where we discuss all the weird shit that happens in the Filipino community. I am your host, Carla J.
And hi, my name's Jasmine. I'm back at it again. I don't know why Carla keeps, inviting me here as her co-host, but hey, I'll take it. She gives me free coffee. So.
And then you blow up my bathroom afterwards. Those coffee shits are no joke.
You know what happens? You know what I'm saying? What is like a diuretic?
Yeah, it's a natural diuretic, so it is what it is. Anyway, so besides poop, we've had a very interesting week. We had some amazing and very fun things happen with our podcast, things that have the potential to propel Cracking the Coconut into a limitless platform instead of just a podcast. I'll leave it as is to just keep the mystery, but if there's anything substantial that we can share, we will do it. Just all the good vibes, all the good vibes.
Sprinkle all the good vibes. And thank you to everybody who's been listening to us, who's been joining us in these conversations, listening on Spotify, watching us on YouTube, and hopping on the comments. We've been having a lot of really, really good comments on TikTok, on IG, and that's what we wanted. We wanted these conversations to be going and starting, and it's happening. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really cool to see. So thank you to everybody who's been a part of that so far. We see you and we love you for cracking these coconuts with us.
100%. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Endlessly, we are so happy and so excited that a lot of people are here to support us and show their enthusiasm for cracking the coconut. And despite a couple of weird, comments here and there, it's all good. It's whatever. We're here to discuss and to open, and if someone's upset, let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. But I'm really glad that we had some really exciting things happen with us over the week, because some things personally in my life I've been going through some bullshit. If Jasmine knows.
If you smell me.
If you smell me. And all this bullshit kind of actually connects to today's episode, but without diving too much into it, but also being transparent, because if you know me, or if there's one thing that I would tell people about me, is that I try to be as transparent as possible when it comes to my career choice. I work in the music industry, and I have my own platform on TikTok where I discuss things about the music industry, and I give a lot of good vibes, good advice, and I try to inspire people to really go for what they want. But I also like to be transparent and tell people that sometimes the music industry can be pretty toxic. It's really hard. It takes a special type of grit and tenacity to do the type of things we get to do. And right now, currently, I'm dealing with some essentially what happened is that I found out that my male coworker, who has the same job title position as I do, and is also being expected, I'm also being expected to do the same as he. We have the same expectations as far as our job title go. I found out that he's making $7,000 more than I am.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
A whole $7,000?
A whole $7,000 more. And it wasn't like...
That ain't right.
I feel really sus about the whole situation, and it's a total bummer to find out. About all this. I'm still, navigating through it, and it really sucks. But I'm also hoping for the very best.
I hope you get that paycheck. You know what I mean?
No, seriously.
And not only the paycheck, I hope you get that respect, because you work really hard. And that shit ain't right. Is this another coconut? We have two coconuts
Yeah,
today?
these are... No, so we'll discuss this coconut, down the line, because that's a whole different coconut to crack. But despite the bump in the road, it actually brings me to the coconut that we are cracking today. Jasmine, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, I would love to do the honors. I don't know what I was thinking. Why did the first thought that came to my head was like hot dogs?
Ooh, makes me want to have a hot dog real bad. Bonus points if you know where that's from.
So we've had conversations on colorism, the crab mentality, family expectations in the Filipino community. But today we decided to kind of switch it up and have a little more fun, you know, like chill out. As you see, it's hoodie season, cracking the coconut. So we want to be a little more chill and talk about something that we really, really enjoy. And that's fun. So as we've shared before, Carla and I have been in the entertainment industry for a few years now. And with that has come so many great experiences and memories. So we thought that it would be fun to share our personal experiences working in the industry.
Yeah. So even though there's a lot of shitty moments like what I'm going through now, there's also a lot of fulfilling moments. In previous episodes, I talked about how from a young age, I've always wanted to work in the entertainment industry, whether that was getting into theater, wanting to become a Disney Channel actress, to becoming a writer and wanting to be a screenwriter and going to film school. You know, I've gotten into fights with my parents about my career choice, and I felt like half of my childhood into early adulthood has always been a constant struggle with my parents about what I want to do. And despite coming home really excited about the things that I'm doing and winning awards and trying to live my best life, my parents couldn't see that happiness and were still pushing me and trying to force me into medicine. And I'm pretty sure I could be a good nurse if I applied myself, but would that truly make me happy and want to get out of bed to go to work? We both had to navigate this space as women of color. And even though it was a difficult journey, and it's still going to be difficult, I'm really glad that I decided to pursue what I wanted to do and followed my dreams as opposed to doing what my Filipino parents wanted me to do.
Yeah. Meeting a celebrity, a talent, an influencer, all that, it can be really, really exciting, right? But working in it too, you can't get too excited. You can't show this emotion. You know, internally you might be screaming, but outwardly you got to be really chill, really professional, and you got to keep your cool. And let me tell you, I've been across a lot of people who worked in the industry and they have not kept their cool. Yeah. You know, you can't be showing that fangirl moment. Yeah. In front of these people, because they see that all the time. Yep. You know, and behind the scenes, behind the camera, it's like their safe space. So you got to keep it cool and professional. And so we want to share a bunch of those stories that happen behind the scenes and kind of give you a little insider on not only these celebrity encounters and experiences, but just experience as ourselves working behind the scenes as two Filipino American girls. Yeah. Carla, let's start off with you. All right. What was your favorite celebrity encounter? Like the one that tops all the encounters that you've experienced in your career?
Okay, so Selena Gomez.
That's big.
I know. I feel like I'm killigging right now.
Okay, so you need to explain to the people out there who don't know what Killig means, because I didn't know what Killig mean. I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
She keeps saying Khalid. So when I say Killig, she's always like, "Oh, Khalid's here.
Khalid's in the building.
Can we just talk? Can we just talk?"
I don't know the words.
Anyways, so Killig, if you don't know what it means, essentially it's a giddy or excited feeling you get in terms of love and romance. So say you're watching a romantic film or movie, and the two main characters are about to kiss, or they hold hands, or the guy does something really cute, or the girl does something really cute, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. If you watch rom-coms with me, I will scream, cry. I love the show Love, Victor on Hulu. If you're not streaming it, go ahead and watch it. Impeccable. It is amazing. I love it. And when the two characters are about to do their little thing, it warms my heart and I get so excited. And I am colleaguing now over Selena Gomez. So I actually met her twice. And the first time was in 2015. She came into the radio station that I was working at called 97.1 Amp Radio. They rebranded it, now they're called 97.1 now, and it's located in Los Angeles. And at the time, I was only a promo assistant. And if you don't know what that is, a promo assistant is essentially a street team member. It's the entry-level position. It's part-time and it's minimum wage, but it's a lot of fun and it's a great way to get your foot into the door. So if you want to get into the music industry, this might be one of the ways to do it. Anyways, so I was killing it out on the streets. And the thing about our promotions department is that in order to get the really cool responsibilities at big shows, like being an artist escort or being side stage for things, you have to kill it out on the streets in these events. And so I was doing a really good job and on top of that, I was also, every once in a while, would get to help out with the digital department, whether that's taping wires on the ground or bringing in backdrops to set up or whatever it was. I was just doing a good job. And so the social media manager for AMP worked it out with my boss to let me help out with the Selena Gomez shoot. And that girl is fucking beautiful. She is the nicest person. What you think of her, how she portrays herself in front of the camera, and I know she's not giving her full authentic Selena in front of everyone, because then she'd be showing her whole entire self, and what does she have for herself, you know? But she is the sweetest, kindest, most beautiful soul out there. She walked in wearing this beautiful burnt orange dress and hot Cheetos in her hands, and she had hot Cheeto fingers, you know, the little dust, the little residue, and she was joking about how she could just wipe it on her dress because it matched. She also offered her hot Cheetos to us, which I thought that was sweet.
You know, if she wiped her Cheeto hands on her dress, it would probably be like Mean Girls, how they cut off like the boob part in, what's her, Regina George's undershirt or tank top. And if Selena Gomez wiped her Cheeto hands on her dress like this, right, that would probably show up the next day as a big ass trend.
Probably, yeah. So Selena came in to do an interview with Carson Daly. If you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, then you know who Carson Daly is. He is legendary, an icon, the host of TRL on MTV. He's doing some other shit with The Voice right now, but the host of TRL. And as someone who grew up watching MTV, like this was a huge thing for me to be able to work with Carson Daly. But what I was helping out with was actually her liners. And if you don't know what liners are in radio, they're basically on-air promos. So something along the lines of like, hey, what's up? This is Selena Gomez. You're listening to 97.1 AMP Radio, LA's new hit station. Something like that you'd hear on air. And so while she was doing her little liners, I got to help out with social media, take a few photos on the phone and some little videos like that. And so afterwards, they're taking photos of her in front of the AMP backdrop. And that's when my social media manager asked Selena, hey, is it okay if CARLA takes a photo with you? Because she's actually a really big fan. My panties dropped so fast. I don't know where they are. I still haven't found them. I'm pretty sure they're still in LA somewhere, because I was not, honestly, I wasn't expecting that.
Flaming hot Cheeto fingertips, finger stains.
Like, I wasn't expecting that. I knew I was helping out with Selena Gomez, but I just wanted to be in the room and to just help out and kind of see more behind the scenes, because that was the first time I ever got to be in the same room while they're doing a celebrity interview or anything with an artist. And so I just wanted to learn some more, because that's actually what I wanted to do. I wanted to be part of the digital department. So I came up to Selena Gomez. I said, hi. She told me I smelled good, which is great because I was sweating balls. I could have smelled like onion dip. And I said, thank you, it's Bath and Body Works. And she's like, oh, gotta love Bath and Body Works. And we went in for a hug, and I'm gonna show the photo right now. And if you're watching this, you'll see the photo, but if you're listening on Spotify or any of our other streaming platforms, I'll go ahead and put all the photos that we mention in the blog post for this episode, so go ahead and check it out if you're interested in seeing that photo. But yeah, and then the second time was 4 years later. Selena came in to promote her new songs, Look at Her Now, Lose You to Love Me, and this time I was no longer a promo assistant. I had moved up in the ranks and was a full-time video content producer. So it was pretty cool, and kind of like the first time I met her, I was doing this with my career and she was doing that with her career. And then 4 years later, we're on two like different frequencies,
you
I
both
guess.
evolved since the first meeting.
Yeah, definitely. And so after that interview, the second time I got a photo with her again, she was stunning and she smelled great and beautiful. And that's my Selena Gomez encounter. I'm just gonna put it out into the universe that one day I will get to work with Selena Gomez. I would love to be in the studio with her while she's doing music, or maybe taking her photos on the set of a music video or something. And yeah, so Selena Gomez or any of her team, if you're listening or watching, hi, I'm Carla. My portfolio is jcombacarla.com. Thanks. So what about you, Jess? Do you have any celebrity encounters, or what's up?
All right, so I see we're starting off strong here in our celebrity encounters. All right, so I'm going to start with my Billie Eilish story.
Ooh, Billie Eilish.
Yes. So I met Billie Eilish working as her talent escort at the K-Rock Almost Acoustic Christmas in 2018. What it is it's a station-hosted event that was held at the time. I think it was at the Forum. And it's like a 2-day festival with all these different rock alternative bands, and it's a cool big event. And at the time I heard of her, but I didn't listen to her music. And from just first glance at her photos, and when media hypes up an artist, I don't always give them my ear, because I feel like I can't really trust media to have good taste. There's so many artists out there who are young and kind of gimmicky, especially in their clothing, their sound, their personalities. But man, I was wrong about Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish is legit. And even though Mike Shinoda, Bastille, 30 Seconds to Mars were performing at the festival that weekend, she was probably one of the most anticipated acts all weekend.
Yep.
And so I get introduced to Billie and her team. I go into the dressing room and her manager introduces me to her and her mom. Also, I want to say that her mom is actually real cool, and that she's a big part of why, Billie is so grounded. And it's because her mom's by her side, and she's plays that momager role, but she's not a crazy momager who's controlling. I forgot what the conversation was, but I remember there was a moment where I think her team was kind of questioning, should Billie do this at the show? Should she maybe do this song or wear this item? I can't remember. But her mom was pretty much like, you know what? Billie's going to do what she wants. And I trust that. So I thought that was really cool that, she didn't force her to do what she wanted, but she gave Billie that freedom as an artist and as a person to decide. And that could also relate back to our family expectations thing, that we've talked about. You got to really trust your kids out there on how they're going to come across to the world, and that's all based on your upbringing of your child. But back to Billie, because that's what y'all want to hear, right? So Billie's out there. She's looking real cool. She got these dope shades on and some really cool kicks. She's all fitted out. She looks fire. And despite the look, though, I could tell that she was really, really nervous. And I feel like I'm pretty good at reading people, and feeling their vibe out, even if I don't know them. But I could sense that in the room, right? And in my head, I always thought that maybe she thought that she didn't really think that she belonged there. And that, I really wanted to tell her nah, girl, you got this. You're here for a reason. You're here to perform this weekend at the Forum for a reason. So we're going to the stage, and she had this speaker backpack, and it was I swear to you, it felt like we were going to the stage, the ring, in a boxing match. And it was crazy. She was playing some rap song. I don't know what song it was, but it was she's hooded up. We're walking down the hallway, ready for this big moment for her. And it was cool. I thought it was she's just setting her vibe, setting her tone, and that's what she needed to prep herself for this big moment for herself. And she killed that shit. I remember when she performed her song, You Should See Me in a Crown, the bass drop, it hits, you know? And it was just so cool to see her, you know, her young self, I think at the time she was like 16, and her to have this presence and this energy about herself, it was great. And you know, at that moment, you know, in that span of time working with her and her team was great to work with, very professional, very well-rounded team that Billie Eilish has around her. And I became a supporter and a fan, and it's been really cool to see her go from, you know, that moment to where she is now. She's a worldwide star. So I want to let y'all know that Billie Eilish is not a damn fad. She is the real deal, and she's been here before, and she's going to be here for a long, long time.
Yeah, no, 100%. Billie is like, she's a superstar for sure. And speaking of her, when you're working in the industry, sometimes you get desensitized to seeing artists. Working in radio especially, it's common to see artists get shuffled in and out of the building. In our particular building alone, because we had 7 different radio stations. So after working for a while, you become more focused on your task rather than bumping into celebrities, which, you know, is a good thing, because as Jazz mentioned earlier before, you want to be professional at all times, because you want to make sure the artists are in a really comfortable setting for them to do their job. And then you want to do their job too. I've seen like really tacky shit happen while working in radio, and it's not a fucking cute look. But so actually one day was walking into the station, turned into the hall, and I see Billie. And Billie is heading towards me. She's going to the bathroom, and I don't even know, or I knew it was her, but it didn't really hit me that it was actually Billie Eilish. I saw her label rep first, and I go to him and I say hi, like, because he's come in before with other artists. So I see him and I tell him, hi, how you doing? And, you know, do small talk before I'm heading up to the office. And when I'm heading towards the main lobby of the radio station, I see more people in the hallway, and then it kind of hit me, and I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, I think that was Billie Eilish, and then I was right, because a couple of crew members were out because they were shooting the Billie Eilish interview for, I think she was here for K-Rock. So if you don't know Billie Eilish, every single year she does these interviews for Vanity Fair, where they ask her the same exact questions to kind of show a progression of who she is as a person and an artist, and they kind of show what she did the year prior, what she said the year prior, and they show her clip of her now answering that same question. And I remember in one of them, it was either 2019 or 2020. I'm going to look for the clip and I'm going to stick it in the blog post. But she mentions about a radio show she was doing, and I feel like she was talking about the K-Rock show. And then for you to say your story and really corroborate what she's saying in the Vanity Fair interview, I'm pretty sure she was talking about that K-Rock one.
So Billie, if you so happen to come across Cracking the Coconut, watching these 2 Filipino girls talking about cracking nuts, I just want you to know that when I met you, I had a feeling that you were nervous and you maybe wondered what the fuck you were doing at this festival. And I didn't want to feel like I was overstepping, and so I didn't tell you at the time. But here it is. You were exactly where you needed to be, and you belonged on that stage. You and your team are some of the best people that I've ever come across in this industry, and you killed that shit. You fucking killed that shit. You know, this industry is a lot of fun, right? And it's rewarding, but it's really, really not that easy. Learning and growing is needed to really advance in this field and to shine above all the rest. You know, did you have any moments where you experienced imposter syndrome? And to clarify, imposter syndrome is the experience of like you don't belong there, and that you came across this opportunity simply by luck and not really your skill or what you can offer. So when you find yourself in these spaces with some of the biggest artists and names out there, it can be really, really overwhelming. Yes,
I do deal with imposter syndrome, including now while working on Cracking the Coconut, because usually I'm the one behind the camera. I'm the one getting all the behind the scenes stuff and making sure the artist, celebrity, whoever is in front of the lens, it looks best in whatever light we're trying to portray them in. And now I'm in front of the camera, so it's like really weird. Even though I have my own platforms, this time it feels really different in a sense, and I can't really explain it. But yes, do deal with imposter syndrome.
You know, sometimes I forget that we even have a podcast because, you know, we're not constantly staring at ourselves on YouTube or listening to ourselves on a podcast platform. I guess it's because we're so used to producing behind the scenes, like you said, and, you know, we're constantly working behind the scenes with Cracking the Coconut, that it's not really much of a change as what we've been before producing. That being, you know, and also being on camera is only a small fraction of the work that we actually do. You know, I've personally experienced imposter syndrome, but I feel like it's more so fueled me to be in these positions that I've allowed myself to be in. You know, I've thought like, wow, you know, I can't believe I'm actually here. And how did I even get here? Like, really, do you ever think about that? Like, how did you even get to the place that you are today, despite your hard work? But you had to like really maneuver yourself through like spaces that were unknown. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure aliens just plucked us and then dropped us. Like, here you go.
It looks like the claw from Toy Story.
What is this? Pusit. What is this?
I don't know.
Opposite.
Oh my God. I was being hypnotized.
By the squid.
Pussy-tized.
Pusit. Oh.
Pussy-tized.
Pusit is squid, if you don't know. And opposite. My mom taught me that joke.
Oh my
I
God.
thought it was always dumb, but I love it.
It's a mom joke.
It's a mom joke.
Filipino mom joke.
But yeah, so when you're in this huge venue with thousands of people, a walkie-talkie attached to your pants, surrounded by celebrities and a bunch of different powerful people, it can feel super, super intimidating. But I've seen Jasmine work incredibly hard at these events. She's one of the reasons why these events even happen. She's one of the reasons why these events run smoothly, why the crew is fed, why artists have a good time, and she's also one of the reasons why you as an audience member have an even better time at these huge shows. But to answer your question, I've definitely had imposter syndrome while working in the industry. This story happened in 2019. I was working a freelance gig with WB Records, and it was for a pre-Grammy show. And this was a gig that I was doing outside of radio. So this was something completely different. So this event happened at the Hotel Figueroa in downtown LA, and it was filled to the brim with very important people in the industry, plus our celebrity guests, BB Rexa and Dan and Shay, artists that I love. Dan and Shay, if you're listening to this, play my wedding. That's... Thanks. Anyways, so I felt really nervous, and I felt like I truly felt that I didn't belong, because for the first time I was outside of my comfort zone in the realm of the music industry, because I was just so used to doing things with radio and working with the crew that I have. But this time I was in a building with only one person that I actually knew, who was the reason why I had the gig. And it kind of aided to that imposter syndrome, because was I there because I was actually a good photographer and my friend had vetted me, or was I there only because my friend knew me and it didn't matter if I had talent or not? Like, oh, I know photographer, let's just put her in. Like, am I actually good? But I kind of had to convince myself throughout the night that I belonged there. I knew what the fuck I was doing, and that I better network my ass off with these little industry professionals. But everyone was so nice, despite being surrounded by really powerful people who had the power to make or break some of these artists. They were all really kind, very nice. And I mean, they could have been fake, but even if they were fake, it just made me feel better, because I wasn't getting yelled at or being, I didn't feel like I was being belittled at all. So
yeah. Did you think as you're shooting this event, that people looked at you different because you're this small Filipino girl with a camera?
I don't think I noticed. I think I was so focused on doing my job and make sure I was getting a ton of different photos during this event that I wasn't really paying attention to how people were looking at me. But if people thought anything different of me because I'm just this little Filipino girl running around with a camera, then it is what it is. I was just so focused on the task and doing this job and trying to do it really well and trying to impress them, because if this worked out, then maybe I could do more events with WB Records, or maybe I could be invited the very next year. Yeah.
I think, like, honestly, when I see you work, I think one of the cool things is it's easy to spot you, you know, not just because your hair, you know, but like because you're also different than all the other photographers there, and it adds flavor, adds character, adds personality. You know, you don't look like a boring photographer who just shoots concerts every day and hates their life, because there are people out there who are constantly shooting shows and events and things like that, and they really don't like what the fuck they're doing. But you know, with you, I definitely see that you love it, and that's really cool to see.
Thank you. I do love it. And yeah, like, side note about the people, so this is a side story, but I was shooting G-Eazy at the 5 Point Amphitheater in Irvine, which is an outdoor amphitheater, and I was surrounded by people who were working for these really big publications like Getty or whatever, and they were these old white guys that were complaining about shooting G-Eazy. They were just like, you know, I don't want to be here. Like, I can't believe I got this assignment and just all this other stuff. And they're getting paid to be there. A lot of the times, what people don't realize is there are a lot of photographers in the pit shooting shows for free. They are not getting paid, so they're just doing it on their own time for exposure, to gain experience, and because they're shooting their favorite artists. Like, G-Eazy is one of my favorites, so getting to shoot him was a dream come true. And I was just kind of standing there listening to these guys in absolute, like, I was just so not disgusted. I just felt really weird because there's people here in this pit who actually want to be here, who want to have your job and travel to different shows and shoot them and get paid. And the fact that you're out here complaining about it, like, I get if concert photography is not your thing, maybe you would rather be shooting sports, but there's someone who always wants what you have.
Yeah. I think the really sad part about that is there's so many talent, like really, really talented people out there who are dying and wanting these opportunities. But you really have these people who have probably had, you know, photography careers for over 40 years, 30 years, taking these spots, who don't even want these spots. And, you know, this is another crackanut. Wow, I just made up a word. Another coconut. This is another coconut that we, you know, that probably we can crack in the future, where, you know, how can it change? How can the industry and creative industry change to, you know, to really put shine on artists and people who love to create, know how to create, and can carry that passion throughout their careers?
100%. But yeah, so that was like an incident of imposter syndrome for me. I mean, I've had a ton of different moments, but that was one that really stuck out with me. And I got to go home with this really nice sweater. It's hard to tell, but it has a little Grammy on the sleeve. It has Warner Brother Records right here, the date of the event, and all the artists on their, you know, on their lineup in the back. So it was cool. I got to go home with a little bit of swag and money and stuff for my portfolio. So yeah.
Win. You know, Carla, you've had your fair share of really, really cool independent gigs, and, you know, you never know who's paying attention to your skills and the impact that you're making on a day-to-day. You know, it's always important to do your best and really allow yourself to shine, you know, so check out Carla's shit. She has some really dope work on j.carla.com, j.carla.com. She creates some of the best recap videos that I personally ever seen. I'm not being biased. So, you know, hit her up if you need some good editing work. You know, if you need to get that reel checked out, hit her up.
Thank you for the plug. I will give you your coffee and your $50 and some head later. Thank you.
Some what?
To get ahead. To give you the push so you could get ahead in your career.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. But no, seriously, thank you for the plug. I really appreciate it. But what about you? So I talked about Selena Gomez. I talked about Dan and Shay, who I adore. And Billie is someone that gained your respect after the fact that you worked with her. But was there an artist where you got to work with that you already loved?
Ooh, you already know. Okay, so anybody who knows me knows I'm an R&B girl, R&B vibes always. So working with this artist was a great honor. Let's make this fun, right? And let's see if you can figure out who I'm talking about.
Okay.
So she can play 5 instruments: the acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass guitar, piano, and the drums. When she dropped her EPs, no one knew who she was.
Okay.
And she has won 4 Grammys.
Is it Frank Ocean?
I wish it was Frank. You don't know how bad I wish it was Frank, but I think Frank has only won 2 Grammys.
Really?
Surprisingly. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. But no, seriously, I knew it was not Frank Ocean because he kept saying she. So I already know it's R&B princess, our Filipino sister from the Bay Area, her. H-E-R, all caps.
H.E.R.
Her.
Shout out Brianna. That's what we call her. Yeah, so I had the opportunity, actually Carla was there too, but we had the opportunity to work with her, and this was one of my career highlights for sure. So in about a week, myself, along with my lead, my right hand, Monica, shout out to you, we had to coordinate this show with her. And we had to do everything from location scouting to coordinating with her team, the logistics, all that. And we had to do this in a week. People got to know it's not all fun and games coordinating these events, and as a 2-woman team, with Monica and I, we did have our challenges, especially having to seemingly prove to our male boss every single fucking day that we were good enough to even handle this responsibility. And let me tell you, we didn't have to prove shit because all the proof was in the pudding. All the proof was in the work that we put out there and the success of these events. Sometimes people don't take you seriously because of your age, because your gender, or how you carry yourself, or even the way you look. And that's always a challenge that as a coordinator, as a woman, in a male dominated industry, they always got to check that you're doing it right. But let me tell you, we got it. So we ended up booking the Hotel Cafe for her performance. And at the Hotel Cafe, there's been a lot of performers who have been there who are very notable, like Mac Miller, John Mayer, and we wanted it to be really special and personal, because R&B is a very intimate genre, and a lot of artists, they're so used to these big venues that it's like a big box of, yes, it's cool to be around thousands of fans, but it's also a really personal, deep experience when you could have it be a smaller setting, and that's what we wanted to experience for not only the fans but for her and her team as well. And let me tell you, her and her team, they're so great to work with, and I'm not even just saying that. They're very professional, and they're so talented, and they love each other. I remember I actually spoke with her background singers, and I was letting them know, be like, yo, I really like you guys. I could see from the times I've seen them perform, the way you look at each other, the way you look at her, and that chemistry, that communication, that nonverbal communication, it just shows that you love to sing, you love to perform, and you absolutely adore the talents that are around you. So I think that's what makes their team really, really strong. And there's a respect there because it's not just business, but it's the art taking over this space and being the leader. So at the end of the night, this event at the Hotel Cafe turned out to be really, really successful. Everybody had a great time. And let me tell you, R&B is not dead. Because of her, R&B is not dead, and a whole bunch of artists that have come out in the past few years. And seeing her have a successful career and just grow and evolve as an artist and as a person, it's great. And the fact that she's also Filipino, when I was watching her perform, I always think damn, that's a Filipino up there getting the shine and attention and recognition that she deserves. And man, good shit.
So yeah, no, that was a great show. I remember I was camera 2 on that show. I was in the back, myself and my camera on a riser, and I was just grooving with her, so much so that my camera kind of slipped down a little bit, and all I hear in my headset is my boss going, "Carla, are you okay? Your camera's kind of slipping." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm so sorry."
She's like, "I'm sorry, I was singing best part and harmonizing."
Yeah. But speaking of really amazing Bay Area Filipinos, this is a quick story on Saweetie. She came in for an interview with 97.1 Amp Radio, and she is fucking fire. She is so sweet. Her clothes are amazing. She's
sweet.
She's really beautiful. Like, she is like gorgeous, and you can just see that those Filipino features in her, and I'm just like, hi sister. Hi, I'm your long lost cousin. But no, she's really great, and her team's really nice, which actually makes it really easy for us when the teams are easy, because sometimes the artists are really great and really fun, but sometimes their teams are a little bit more intense in that sense, and they don't allow you to do the things you want to do. And not that we're trying to take advantage of these artists, but there's certain things that will make our job easier if we could just communicate. And some artist teams are just kind of like a little high strung and
tighten up the leash a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But Saweetie was really great, and it was a good interview, and I'm gonna manifest this one as well, put it out into the universe, speak it into existence. I'm waving some fairy dust, I'm doing some fucking magic right here. But I hope that one day we and Cracking the Coconut gets to work with Saweetie one day.
Yes.
Saweetie, if you're watching this, we love you. You are my type. So but yeah, so we've been in the presence of a lot of our favorite artists, but what's actually really cool is that we've been in the presence of other people's artists, and you don't realize how cool that is when you mention like, oh yeah, I've worked with so and so, and then you just see their eyes light up and they're like, what? Yeah, it's like, it's fun and it's cool. So someone that I've been in the presence with and have worked with is BTS. If you don't know who BTS, you're living under a rock. BTS did an interview at a hotel near Universal Studios in Los Angeles, and I was one of the videographers. It was me and one other, my boss, doing this. They have the team that is intense, and as mentioned, if the team's hard to work with, then it kind of makes the job a little harder. And the thing about BTS is, even though I'm not like the biggest K-pop fan, I can really appreciate them. They have great music, and I have my fair share of favorite songs from BTS, Blackpink, 17, EXO, and all that. So I can really, really appreciate why they're so popular, and they make really good music. And so I can see why globally they're so popular and why their fan base is so huge. And I love that type of dedication. It's fucking beautiful. But this interview with 97.1 Amp Radio, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. But like I said, their team's really intense. So I was on one of the side cameras, and my job as a videographer for these interviews is trying to get the best angle. And because they're a huge group, in my head, I wanted to shoot like a fangirl. I've been a fangirl of a ton of different artists and boy bands throughout my life. And so I was thinking, okay, what does the BTS army want to see? Oh, I know, really good close-ups of their favorites so they can pull these clips and make little gifs out of them. I was thinking from the heart of a fangirl, what does BTS army want? And so I wanted to do really nice panning of all the guys, and then even get close up of each one of them. So if someone was talking, or if someone was smiling or laughing or doing something cute off to the side, I wanted my camera to capture that and edit it into the thing. But there was one person on the team who was standing like really close next to me and watching my viewfinder all the time. And every time I would try to pan or show a close-up for a little bit, she would correct me and tell me to like, oh no, like you need to zoom out and leave it open. And it wasn't like I could have a conversation with her because the cameras were rolling, they had microphones, there's a possibility my voice could pick it up. I couldn't really talk to her. And also there's also that language barrier. She speaks Korean. I think she spoke a little English because when she was telling me she was speaking in English, but also I don't speak Korean at all, so I wish I could have told her in Korean, hey, like, this is what I'm doing.
Like, I'm gonna make the boys look good.
Yeah,
don't worry.
don't worry. Like, I'm gonna make the boys look good. Like, it's not my intention to make sure one person has more screen time than the other. Like, I want to give them like a really good interview, but that's something I couldn't convey because we were already rolling, and it was so. I'm gonna put the interview in the blog post, and you'll see if you watch it that I think the first 3 minutes only, or 2 minutes, you can see trying the pan and all that stuff, and then after that my camera is static, so it's just staying there and not moving whatsoever, and so you get 2 of the same shots, just one is full on, one is more off to the side, so it's just kind of sad in that sense. But I mean, BTS, they're huge stars. I've seen them perform live at the Billboard Music Awards, and I understand why their team is really intense. They only want what's best for the boys, I would think. So
yeah,
I get it. But I think it's a really cool experience to be with BTS, and they're really nice guys. They come in, they say hi. And then after the whole interview was done, one of them handed me the microphone, and I wish I knew who it was so I could say, oh yeah, it was Jimin or J-Hope who was the really nice one that gave me the microphone, but I don't remember. Maybe I'll do a screen grab and like circle the person who was holding the mic because I remember, and then you could tell me who it is. But yeah, so it was a pretty cool experience to work with some like these really big K-pop artists.
So we also worked with Monsta X, another really big K-pop band. And what I noticed about them as well is they're very particular in the way they do things. And I'm not going to say they're difficult, because they're not difficult. They're just a very well-oiled machine, and they're very careful and strategic in the way they do things. And that's also a part of why they're so successful, that I believe, because they know what they want, and they know how they want to do it. So here's a little funny story of when we worked with Monsta X. So we had another private performance at the station, and their team, so you get riders for artists, which is pretty much what they want to eat for the day. If they need towels, if they need, a steamer, all that good stuff that you need in a dressing room.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 to this episode and talk about some other celebrity encounters and talk about some of the things on some of these artist riders, because we've seen a lot.
Real quick teaser, I had to buy underwear for Martin Garrix. But anyways.
Wait, what color?
I think I bought him some whites. Yeah.
Some tidy whities.
Some tidy whities. So with Monsta X, this team bought a shit ton of Chick-fil-A, like chicken sandwiches. And they bought a whole lot of Americanos. Yeah, so at the end of the day, all of this Chick-fil-A, all of these Americanos that, our team had bought for them, it was left over.
Oh.
So best believe that the team, I don't eat chicken, but best believe the team got all the waffle fries, the chicken sandwiches, and Americanos.
Yes. I remember walking back in the this little back area, and everyone's like, Carla, do you want Chick-fil-A? I'm like, no, but I'll take some fucking French fries. But that's, I think, another fun side perk is whenever there's shows and there's writers, and if artists leave things in their dressing room, best believe that we will be taking we've taken it.
We got dinner and lunch.
I remember at one show, it was Amplify in 2017, I believe David Guetta performed, and because we do a sweep after the end of show, we go through, make sure all the dressing rooms are clear, and make sure if there's any leftover untouched things, we take those back with us, because that's money also. And David Guetta didn't drink any of his beer. Apparently he doesn't drink, so maybe that was all the beer was for his crew. And so we just took all of that unopened beer and all that stuff. G-Eazy left these strips of
Swishers?
No, he left sour candy strips, and those are my favorite candy, so I took those for myself. Charlie Puth left some Oreos. Like, there's a ton of stories there that we could probably leave for another time. So K-pop fans are absolutely wild, and I love it. I'm here for it because I'm a fangirl, and there's a negative connotation behind the word fangirl, as if girls or women in general aren't smart or intelligent or have good taste enough. So whenever they're like, oh, she's just a fangirl, it's like blown off as if she has no talent or an opinion or whatever. But like, girls, we're fucking awesome and we run this fucking world. So I love fangirls. But so one of the groups that I've been a huge fan of since 2006-ish has been the Jonas Brothers. I love them with all my heart. They are... love them. And so for those that don't know, Jonas Brothers, they took a hiatus and they kind of disbanded for a little bit, and then in 2019 they decided to have a comeback, and they came into the radio station 97.1 app for an interview to promote their latest single, and I was one of the videographers. And when I found out that they were coming in and that I was helping, it was literally last minute. I went into my boss's office and say, hey, I'm leaving for the night. And he was like, oh, come in here real quick. And I was like, okay, like, what's up? He's like, you know, you have to come in tomorrow morning really early. We have an artist coming in. I'm like, okay, for sure. And then he told me it's the Jonas Brothers. And once again, panties were gone. I don't know where they are. They probably walked up and joined Selena Gomez panties too. But... yeah, so they came in for the interview in the morning. It was so much fun. I kind of blacked out because I was so focused on getting the shot and having a really good interview, because now it was my turn as a fangirl videographer to make sure I was giving the Jonas Brothers fan like a really good, solid interview with a bunch of dynamic shots and all that stuff. So it was a lot of fun. And then afterwards I got to meet the boys and have a photo. I did ask the morning of if I could get a photo with the Jonas Brothers, but same thing, you got to be professional, and your job is to get the job done, not to meet celebrities. Anyways, so it was just a lot of fun. I blacked out. I still kind of don't remember. I think I told them like I love their new music and like I was a fan for such a long time. And I took a photo, and yeah.
That left your panties on the floor.
Yes. And then later in the year, they actually performed at one of the radio stations, like bigger shows called We Can Survive at the Hollywood Bowl. And I actually got to photograph them too in the pit. So it was a really nice full circle moment, because in high school, like I loved them. And then there were times where I used to get bullied for liking the Jonas Brothers. And now I was able to really elevate and go on this crazy journey to find myself back within the realm of Jonas Brothers. And so I thought that was a really nice full circle moment, and I will forever be grateful for that.
We have had so many great memories in this field, meeting people and networking. But I think the best part about sharing this is that, you know, without stepping out of the box, we wouldn't have gain this experience. You know, if we let our families, the naysayers, society hold us back, we wouldn't even be here. Not even here doing this podcast.
Yeah.
With that, I'd say do what brings you happiness and joy, whether it's something small or big. You know, do what really, really makes your heart smile.
Absolutely. Whether it's a teacher, a photographer, whether you want to be a nurse, or maybe you want to be an office hoe and have a really dope cubicle and live that 9-to-5 life, that is all you, boo. Do it, and only do it if you absolutely want to. And whatever you decide to do with your career path, make sure you go out there and do it with confidence and pure authenticity. And yeah, just do it with a big, huge passion and big heart. And yeah, so tell us, what is it that you want to do? Let us know on social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Cracking the Coconut, as well as Twitter and TikTok at Cracking the Coco.
And if you have the time, go check out our website, crackingthecoconut.com. We have all of our websites there. Also, our episode posts that kind of go back and explain a little more about what each episode is about, what has inspired it. Yeah, leave us a message. Leave us some comments. We love the comments.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with us or you really, really don't agree with us, talk to us. And that's all we want, so we can get this conversation rolling and rolling and rolling.
Roll it, roll it, roll it.
Everybody get your roll on. Everybody, you know.
Two types of people. But yeah, join the conversation, and we will see everybody in the next episode.
Peace.
Bye. Peace.